is with us. We are not alone. We are not alone. We are not alone. God is with us. We are not alone. God is with us now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Vespers. We're so glad that you have joined us this evening so that we can be together once again. And remember that we're not alone. So tonight we're going to light this candle like we do every week, celebrating the presence of Christ who is in us, among us, and beyond us. And remembering all those among our congregation and those beyond us who are suffering as well. We're so glad that you have joined us this evening with a chance for us to be able to be together again. Lately, I've been trying to get some things done around the house. We've been doing painting projects, we've been changing out lights, we've had some drywall work done, and sometimes it feels like you're not making a lot of progress. Kind of like when you go to therapy and you see from week to week that your problems are still the same and you're still complaining about the same things. But if you look deeper, you can see that there's these little changes that add up over time that make a difference. So if it's just a few minutes, just a little bit of time that you have each day, that little bit of intentional action can maybe add up to make some change in our lives. Whether you need to take some time out and to rest for just a few minutes from all of your Zoom meetings that you've had during the day, or whether you need to call up a friend and just chat for just a little bit because you've been feeling alone and isolated. Those little things can make a difference. And tonight we have the opportunity to talk with a friend to find out a little bit more about how Kim Kincaid is doing, and to see some of the amazing work that she does as well. Kim taught school for years, from drama to art and history, and since retirement, she's found an outlet for her, what seems to me like endless creativity. As she updates old furniture, she does sewing and makes handmade keepsakes and drawing and painting, all kinds of stuff. I'm amazed not just with the breadth of her work, all the different things that she does, but with the way that Kim finds possibility in things that other people might cast off, might not notice. So let's go talk with Kim and see how Kim's doing. Hey Kim, how are you doing?
Hi, Aaron. Just fine.
It's so good to see you. It's so great. I'm so glad that you've taken time out to share with us a little bit about all the different kinds of art that you do, and you've sent over some pictures, and I'm just really amazed at like how many different things that you do. It's amazing.
Well, you've heard the expression, a jack of all trades, a master of none. That's kind of me.
Well,
I dabble in a lot of things, but,
it looks
not all that proficient in them.
Well, I don't know about that. I think the pictures may suggest something else. But before we get into all that, tell us a little bit about how you all have been doing lately. How are things going for you in the midst of a pandemic lately?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're healthy. That's the biggest part. And we both had both COVID shots as of yesterday. So we feel really grateful to get through it as easily as we have. I walk with friends every morning and walk the dog with Raleigh at night. And so I get out and, and I have my little Charlotte here.
Yeah.
My little new grandbaby Charlotte. So that's given me purpose, and how can the world be at a bad place when you got a new baby?
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of what you do, and tell me a little bit about how did you get into doing this? Because we've got everything from furniture that you have redone to quilts that you have made, and there's drawings, there's stoles for ministers, all kinds of stuff in such a breadth. Like how did this start, Kim?
Well, I tell you, people know that I've was a teacher for 29 years, and teachers don't have much time for themselves.
Yeah.
You're working all day, you're coming home, you're grading papers, weekends, you're grading projects and planning for, you just don't have time. And then kids' activities on top of that. So I've always felt like I was, kind of a creative person. I was always into the arts and things in school, and I just didn't have an outlet. So when I retired 6 years ago, I just exploded. I just wanted to do it all because I felt like I'd just been, stifled. So that's kind of how it started. And I started a little, Facebook website page, and I called it Phase 2 because, my second phase of my career life, not career, but my second phase, dabbling something new. And then most of the things that I work with are repurposed in some way. So it's their phase 2 of, how they started.
Was there a particular kind of thing that it started with? Did you start with furniture? Did you start with, sewing?
Well, I kind of start with furniture. My sister, oldest sister, Pam, lived in Illinois at the time. Now she's here in Lexington for the last few years, but she started painting furniture. And she used this particular paint, this Annie Sloan chalk paint that's all the rage among chalk painters. And it so happened that they had a stockist. There's only a few, in different parts of the United States, but there's a stockist here in Lexington. So I started to go and get paint from her at Liz Douglas Designs. I'm putting in a little plug. And I started to get paint from her, and I kept coming in, with new projects, and then she'd talk to me and kind of, give me a little tutorials along the way. And then one day she said, well, it turns out that I had also taught her daughter, so we kind of had that connection. And so she said, you're not working these days. Why don't you, work for me some? So when they would go away for a week or two or a few days here and there on jobs, I would, be a shop girl and mind the shop. So, I just got really kind of immersed in that whole painting and learning from her.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at some of the things that you've made here too. So,
okay.
There's a lot of furniture. There's some desks and some all kinds of stuff here. So, so there's like a little writing desk here.
People throw out things. They see some watermarks on it. They see some damage to veneer. They see that it's not their style, or they don't like the dark brown furniture, or things were handed down, maybe passed down in the family, but it doesn't go with their aesthetic today.
Right,
so it's just showing you how different it can be with some paint slapped on it.
That's amazing. Well, but it's not just paint slapped on it. I mean, all of your paint is so well done, and there's so much life in what you've painted there too. I mean, can you talk a little bit about kind of the brush strokes and the technique you used to make this happen?
Well, I do like to be a little, artistic with it. That's where I get my pleasure. And most of the people that have asked me to do commissions for them, they, I guess, have seen enough to trust me to do my own thing, because I don't like just plain color. I like a little, technique. This is a little wash of a couple different colors on top. This, is an old kind of Mediterranean style or something. It's kind of a 6-sided piece that, a lot of people wouldn't necessarily look at twice. I think I got that in a peddler's mall for $7.
Really?
And then, painted it up, and it can look fresh and modern.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Well, I love too what you've done with this bed here, which takes a lot. I mean, there's so much work done to that.
That's was a little bed, and I just thought it just begged to be treated like a little girl's princess bed. And that has a lot of blended colors and then waxes. There are lots of different dark waxes and white wax, and you can get different effects by using wax on top of the paint.
Okay, I had no idea about that. That's amazing. So you're using some kind of wax. Are these waxes? Are they actually made expressly for this purpose of painting furniture, or is it something else?
So the chalk paint itself is a porous paint. And so you lay the chalk paint down, but it doesn't really have chalk in it. It just looks that dry matte color.
Right.
And then you put the wax on, and the wax cures in that those porous surfaces and creates a hard protective finish. But you can get stylized with wax treatment as well.
Oh, that's cool. So the wax kind of allows it to still have this matte finish, but be protected. Is that kind of what?
Actually, it makes a little bit of a sheen on it, and you can do different things to make it a high gloss, or you can leave it more of a matte, depending on your technique in sanding.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, okay, so this is a piece that I really, really love. This dresser here. Can you tell us about this one?
Yeah. Show the before. Flip back one. Yeah. So this was literally on the side of the road.
What?
And I mean, you would think that, okay, that's the side of the road piece. It's worth the side of the road.
Yeah.
The veneer had, buckled up. It had lots of water damage. some of the drawers didn't work. And, Raleigh will tell you, I'm all the time scrounging around looking and say, stop the car. Will this fit in our back seat? Let's go back with the truck. But yeah, so that was the end of the road. And then I just painted it up.
Well, but it looks like you had to do some structural work to it as well.
I didn't just paint it up. I was going to say, you see clamps, and I'm not great at repairing and like restoring, but I'm learning.
Yeah, I love your color choices. How to
Thanks.
Can you talk a little bit about maybe the color
I love
choices?
color.
Yeah.
I just love color. I love blending color. I like coordinating colors. I just kind of have an eye for color, I think, and it's one of my favorite things is to combine them.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the style of the desk and the little cutouts and I just thought it called for something a little more than solid color.
Yeah. Well, I never, ever, ever in my life would have thought of these colors together. And it works so well. It's beautiful, and it's got such interest to it. So I love what you've done with that. And well, let's talk about this table too. You've got so much stuff. You make this so easy. Okay.
Okay.
So
you see this table?
Is this the same
That's
one?
That's the after.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was in someone's garage storage building. You see, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
And so what I did, because it was a veneer that I couldn't take off, so I painted some like beachy. They kind of wanted that beachy thing, so I kind of painted some beachy boards on it. That's all just with paint and blacked off, with tape, so it looks like boards, but it's all just paint.
Oh, that's awesome. I was about to ask, did you use some tape on that? Did you use some masking on it to make it happen? Because I can't imagine trying to freehand all of that right there.
Yeah, that masking taped off different sections and then painted with blended paints for kind of a driftwood sort of effect.
Oh, yeah. That is gorgeous. I love that.
That was huge. That was a huge, like 12-foot with a leaf table.
Oh my gosh.
It was big.
Wow. Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Well, it is amazing. I love that you're repurposing these old items and just finding the beauty that's in these things that you don't expect. Like this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, this desk. I love this desk. Tell us a little bit about this desk, and the paint on it especially is just beautiful.
Well, this was given to me by Sally, actually, Sally Horowitz. And this was in her mother's home. And they did all the things that they wanted from, and she had all these few things left over, and she graciously gave it to me. But it was a dark wood. And not that the wood was bad, but, it just gives me a canvas to paint.
Yeah.
And I call it my blue jean desk because I think it looks like denim.
Well, okay, so this is huge. This is a huge china cabinet. How did you come by this?
Yeah, this was someone's grandmother, and she remembered it in the grandmother's home. But she was a colorful person, and she just didn't want it, the brown. She thought it looked aged, and so I painted it up for her.
That is awesome. Well,
and I love it because it's got a teal interior, which really made her dishes pop in her home.
Oh, it does. I hadn't noticed, but it does. That is so cool. I love it. Well, what a great way to be able to hang on to something that has sentimental value, and to keep it in the family,
right.
and then still also be something that fits with what you like. As well in your decor. This is cool too. This is a neat desk.
Yeah, not many people are willing to put a purple piece in their home. But this was requested purple because it was her father's desk, and when he passed, she inherited it, favorite color was purple.
That is so cool. Well, it's a nice purple though. This is
Yeah, it is.
It's a nice
I
kind of
blended darks and used some dark wax and made it a little more subtle.
Oh, that is cool. Okay, here's another one that I love the depth that's in the paint of this, all the different colors together.
Thanks. The top of that was something I practiced. You can't really tell at all, but I was proud of it. It was kind of a galvanized, looked like a galvanized steel top, and I put little rivets things around, brass tacks around.
Oh, that
was a record cabinet.
Oh, it's a record. Oh, that is awesome. And I love the look on it. And when you look at it, the original, it does feel like it's kind of metallic, but yet there's a warmth to it as well. That is so cool. Well, it looks like you're also doing some your work is not limited to for other people. You're also working on your own place too here. So
yeah, that's my kitchen, part of my kitchen, and I just had brown, just brown stock cabinets. And this was just really a big accomplishment for me, just because each facing of the drawer or the doors are about 7 steps.
Oh my gosh.
To finishing. So, when you're looking at even a fairly small kitchen like mine with 30 drawers and doors, that's 30 times 7 or 8 different steps. You involve sanding it so that it's nice and smooth, and the wax makes it a nice sheen that looks kind of like a baked on finish.
Yeah, it really does. Oh my goodness, I love it.
It just updates a kitchen, I think.
Yeah, and such a nice color again too. Oh, I love your eye for color. Okay, so now not only are you refinishing stuff, but there's also some beautiful art here. Is this the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Yeah, that was Linda Hopgood had a new grandbaby, and she wanted to use this wardrobe that had been in their family for years and pass it to the new grandbaby. And her son always loved The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or the Narnia.
Yeah.
So I made the wardrobe, tried to make the wardrobe look like into Narnia, for kind of travel on the front with super hardware.
Oh, that is so cool. I love it.
That's probably my biggest source of pride, that piece, because I just was so unsure of myself if I could pull it off. And it's painting, which I'm not very, I can paint furniture and I can paint this and that, but I'm not a fine artist. And it was just challenging, and I was proud of how it came out.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And you can see on the top that the sky continues when you open up the door on the top left-hand side of it too. Just beautiful detail. That is so cool.
Thank you.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's look at some more of your artwork too. We have some cards that you've made as well.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things I do in my spare time, is just to make little note cards. And there's still people out there, believe it or not, who like to write little notes. And so I make these and, group them up so that people can get them if they want. But I reuse things. Like this was some of those were from Lily Pulitzer. And my daughter had agenda books, in college every year.
Yeah.
And they had such neat little on them. So I would take those designs and, just cut them up and tear them. And there's no rhyme or reason or no planning, kind of something fun to do.
That is so cool. Well, I love, again, the repurposing and your ability to find this kind of beauty in these unexpected places here. This is so cool. So Some of the other things that I've seen that you do here are you're drawing on pages. Tell us about this. Where did you come up with this idea? This is so cool.
I think that I've seen, a lot of things that I experiment. I've just seen other places, and I'm bad for saying, I could do that.
Yeah.
Or I like that idea, but I'm going to put a twist on it.
Yeah.
So these I call them dictionary drawings, and I take a vintage dictionary page. And pick a word on the page. In this case, of course, butterflies, and then draw butterflies. These were colored pencil, and those are dragonflies.
Oh, that is so cool. Just with colored pencil. Wow.
Yeah, and then I do some pen and inks with a little fine Sharpie.
Okay, so these right here, these
artichoke and a sea turtle and just whatever the word on the page is.
That is awesome. And this is with a fine Sharpie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just like little drawing pens.
Yeah, that is so cool. Okay.
That is Lelia Midkiff's house, cottage, a cabin in North Carolina that we visited when the kids were young.
Oh, that's awesome. I've heard about their place in North Carolina. That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's my neighbor's home. When they moved away, I made a picture for them to take with them of their house.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, then I started doing some, I call them hymn drawings, but kind of around Christmas, I would go to some Christmas fairs and some Christmas carols and an image drawn on the Christmas carol from the old hymnal.
That's awesome. How does Raleigh feel about you stealing pages out of his hymnals is the question.
We have so many.
He doesn't know.
I think he can spare it.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, some other things.
He drew the line at Bibles. He said, no, you can't take my Bibles.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the other stuff you do. Is you do sewing, and you made some beautiful stoles even for us at church. We've got some that you've made. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah. Well, I started with scarves. Can you see me or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so I started with scarves, and these are all. I bet I've made 200 of these.
Oh, that's
awesome.
And
these are T-shirts. And I leave like little details of the T-shirts, and then of course I had made a bunch of Kentucky shirts.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And then I'd make some just kind of, fashion T-shirts, but just out of recycled T-shirts, and so I made a bunch of these and sold these at the little craft fairs and things like that, and for gifts. They were kind of the rage at one point. Everybody needed to have a UK scarf.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend who graduated seminary, and so I thought, well, if I can make a scarf, maybe I'll turn it into a kind of the same concept with a clergy stole.
Yeah.
So I started and made one for him, and didn't have a pattern or anything. So I gave it to him and said, tell me dimension wise and what I need to do and whatever for further ones. So he was kind of my guinea pig. But then I enjoy it so much.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I've made several for the church that people have seen.
Yeah.
Pentecost and Advent and all the different things.
Oh, I love these so much. They're so gorgeous. And again, I love the kind of for lack of a better word, patchwork nature of it. Just all the different fabrics that are used in there. It's beautiful, and
thank you.
Such a beautiful representation of our life together in Christ too. You know, so many different parts coming together to make a beautiful whole. I love it. Well, let's look at your quilts too. Are these made from t-shirts as well?
Those are. Go back to the other one. That one is my most recent, and that was for Diane Campbell. She intended it for her new grandson, but it was, you know, it's big. It's like 9 feet tall or something like that. It's more of a bed size. So her son said that he would enjoy it. But it's all the steam engines that he, you know, is his advocation.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so cool. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. I just wonder, like, you know, from all your work in doing this, what is it that you have, is there anything that this kind of work has taught you, anything that you feel like you've learned or gleaned from doing this kind of creative work?
You know, I'm generally not a very confident person. I mean, people may not think that because I thought that I wanted to be an actress growing up, you know, and I was in theater and singing and dancing and all that. And you think you got to have confidence, but just internally, I'm not generally a very confident person. So it has taught me that, you know, what I do may not be, you know, in a museum, or it may not be the finest work or whatever, but, you know, I can still feel proud about my accomplishment. And everyone's measured on a different scale, and you shouldn't measure yourself to other people. Just do what makes you happy. And, you know, I enjoy just picking up, you know, like little pieces of paper in my spare time and doing little, you know, mandala with little dots and paint. It's no big deal, but it makes me happy.
Yeah.
I sit around and watch TV, and I take these little spools. You see this?
Oh yeah.
And embroider on the spools, but it keeps me engaged, and then I can hang, I don't know what, little trees or something like that. But
that is so cool.
You know, it just keeps me busy. I need to keep busy, and the more I can get away from my iPad, the better.
Yeah.
So
if somebody else wants to get and is thinking like, I've got this kind of creative passion, desire, they want to try their hand at something like this, do you have any advice to other people looking forward to trying to do these things?
You know, you just have to experiment, and you just have to, well, as I said earlier, I see things everywhere. There's so many, you know, apps and different things. If you like to search in the computer or whatever, Pinterest, you know, there are a million ideas. Etsy, just different websites. You know, go to the store and see products. I will sometimes go to Hobby Lobby, you know, and I'll see something and I'll say, oh, that's cool. I want to remember how that looked.
Yeah.
And then you come home and it's an idea that you didn't have before. I'm not a great, very, maybe some people might think I was, but, you know, I usually see an idea and then do my own spin on it. But there's so many ideas out there to just, you know, try.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And it takes, you know, it's just starting out and trying is a big deal. And I love what you say. And I think I've heard you say it before, where you say, oh, I figure I could probably do that. I think that's a great way to that's a great way to approach life. Like, why not?
I don't always do it. And, you know, I have those fails, definitely, that you don't see.
Yeah. But you get to try, you know, but at least you say, hey,
yeah,
I'm going to step out and try this. And, you know, there's some saying where you've got to get your pencil has 3 good drawings and 1,000 bad ones in it. You got to get the 1,000 bad ones out till you can get to those 3 good ones.
It's definitely a process.
Yeah.
And some things I do better than others, but still keep plugging away. One thing I wanted to show you that I didn't have pictures of. This is an idea for anyone who likes to maybe can't sew, but can pick up a little thread and embroider. You can learn how to embroider on any YouTube channel, YouTube site. But I make these little, I call them slow stitch.
Oh, yeah.
And these are just like little 4x4, but you just use fabric and, just different little embroidery techniques to make little scenes, or, you just lay your fabric on each other.
Those are so awesome.
And it's nice to get like textures.
Oh, yeah.
It's just fun. Goodness. But anybody can do it. You don't have to have a sewing machine. It's not painting. It's not fine art. It's just something to do while you're sitting around,
Yeah. Oh, that is so cool.
You can embroider. Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
It's fun.
That is so awesome. I love again, it's so beautiful how all these kind of disparate things are coming together to make this just kind of beautiful, interesting piece of art. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Kim, for taking time out to share all this
You're
stuff
welcome.
with us. It's been so great to talk with you, and it's so cool to get to see all these things that you've made. And it's inspiring. So now I need to go, I'm going to go look for some stuff on the side of the road. And
yeah.
So, okay. Well, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thanks.
Okay.
Enjoyed it.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Kim, for taking time out to share with us this evening. It really was a joy to get to talk with you and to get to see all of the wonderful and beautiful things that you have been creating. It really is inspiring, and so thanks so much for taking time out to do this. Before we go today, let's sing a song together. How about He's Got the Whole World in His Hands? He's got the whole world in His hands. 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 He's got you and me, sister, in His hands. He's got you and me, brother, in His hands. He's got you and me, sister, in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got everybody here in His hands. He's got everybody there in His hands. He's got everybody here in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. Thanks so much for being here again this evening. Another chance for us to gather together and to be reminded that we're not alone. We're going to gather again on Sunday, right back here on YouTube for worship. And we invite you to come back on Sunday to join with us, to chat with each other, and as we make our way into Lent coming up next week. So that means that next Wednesday night we won't have Vespers, but we will have an Ash Wednesday service. You can find out more about that in our newsletter coming up. We will broadcast that again on YouTube so that you can participate with us for Ash Wednesday. Over our YouTube channel virtually, like we have been doing for all of our services lately. Also, we have some other Zoom groups coming up. Find out about the baby boomers who are meeting tomorrow. We've got Thursday school tomorrow night. Other Sunday school classes meeting this weekend. You can go to lexcentral.com/Zoom. Find folks that you can contact so that you can join into some of those discussions. We have a new Zoom group that's going to start in a few weeks, and you'll find out more about that in the newsletter tomorrow. It's a travel Zoom. We can't travel right now, but we can talk about traveling. So as we think about hopefully being able to travel sometime in the future. We're going to hear from some folks who visited different places and hear about their experiences as they have been traveling. So we're grateful to Jane Tatum, who's been gathering these folks together and getting this ready, and also to Gwen Hart, who's going to be our host and our moderator for that. So we hope that you'll join us for those evenings as well coming up. Thanks so much again for being here this evening, and we'll see you again on Sunday. For now, go in peace.